You're listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series that syndicates for the A-List Online. That means I'm Andrew Mackay-Smith, because I'm the only one who does this, you see. So thanks for listening. I really do appreciate it. Now, the reason for the podcast installment that you're about to listen to is because I'm talking to Sammy Totman. He is normally the guitarist, the fella at the centre of DragonForce. But the reason for the chat is to actually talk up his appearances in a covers show that will be touring Australia rather soon. Chop Suey, who of course can only be referencing the great System of a Down, and they're also touring with Down with the Sickness, which is Disturbed. Now, not familiar with Disturbed's music, so I think that must be a reference to an album or something else there. Anyway, never mind. We're talking to Sammy about his appearances in Chop Suey and a few other things in here too. I was really looking forward to having a chat to him or have been looking forward to having a chat to him for some time. But anyway, I actually better read out some dates. So here we go. The two shows, or the two bands, will be appearing in shows across the nation on these dates. Wednesday the 29th of January at the Basement in Canberra. Thursday the 30th of January at the Factory Theatre in Sydney. Friday the 31st of January, Max Watts in Melbourne. And finally, we here in Brisbane get a show at the Woolly Mammoth. Gosh, that's an interesting venue, that one. In Brisbane, Saturday the 1st of February, that one is happening. And of course, if you're listening to this in the distant future, these shows are happening in 2020. So here he is, Sammy Totman from the outfits DragonForce, and now Chop Suey.
Hello.
Hey mate, it's Andy Mackay-Smith calling for our chat. How you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, sorry, you were supposed to do it at 4:30, right? And I asked.
I got a message from Chris saying to do it now, but we can do it later. That's no worries.
No, that's cool. Yeah, no, because I also wasn't sure who I was speaking to, because I just had a quick look at the email. But yeah, so you were the one that was scheduled for 4:30, and I asked to change it to 5. Is that right?
It must be. Yeah, are you in New Zealand? Are you at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm in Brisbane. Yeah, or Gold
Okay.
Coast, but same thing. You know how it is. Yeah.
Cool. All right, nice one. Yeah, no, I got there. And yeah, now we're just kind of been doing a rehearsal. We've got like 3 people that never played together before, so we're like, we just jumped off the plane and ran to rehearsal, trying to like learn it, and then like, so I was like, normally I'd say, oh, fuck rehearsal, we don't really want to do it anyway, but like we actually did need to. So,
no, that's fine. Look, I can call you back a bit later if you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a muso too, mate, so don't get me wrong. I can tell you just quickly, I've played on stages with many people who I've never met before going up on stage, and I wish to high hell that I bloody had a rehearsal with them, so I know what you're feeling. So if you need to go back and rehearsal, man, no worries. I can give you a call back later. That's no dramas.
No, that's perfect. No, we just packed up, so we're good. So yeah, ask me what you'd really like to know.
Wonderful. All right, no worries. Well, look, I know I've had a chat to a few people in DragonForce, actually. See the third person. So there you go. I've had a few chats to Frederick. I know he's not a band. Yeah. I've when he was doing Sinsanum and when he was in DragonForce and a few other things. But mate, I've got to ask this. I mean, you guys are exceptionally capable musicians. I've seen who's doing this show here, and I guess the absence of the System of a Down as a band proper has given you the inspiration. But I mean, is that really? Obviously, you got some mad respect for the band there. But what's the inspiration behind actually putting together the show and coming to Australia?
Well, I mean, I'm just sort of, it's not really my thing. I'm just like, basically the guy that's the drum, the sort of guy that put it all together is our drum tech for DragonForce. That's like his, so it's kind of his thing. And he's been doing it around England for a few years now with like various musicians. And then he said to me like a couple of years ago, oh, do you want to come and do a UK tour with my like System of a Down covers band? And I was like, oh, yeah, why not? Actually, like, it might be kind of fun. So I haven't played with any other musicians except for DragonForce for like 15 years, probably. Yeah. So it was just kind of like, and I thought, well, it's like somewhere to get drunk. So instead of sitting at home, might as well go around and play and do that, you know. So I just kind of did it for fun, really. And it is pretty fun, yeah. I mean, it's just kind of nice. The songs are really simple on that, so it's like you could learn them in like 5 minutes. And it's just kind of a good laugh, really. And then to come over here, he goes, oh, you want to do it in Australia? I was like, yeah, all right. It's to go home to see my parents and that. Like, why not?
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah. And you're right.
It's pretty fun. Yeah, I like enjoying it. I'm enjoying it for sure.
Yeah. What about the members of System of a Down themselves? Have they reached out and seen that there's such prominent people such as yourself in a cover show, a tribute band?
No, I haven't heard anything from them. I don't think they'd be that bothered, to be honest. But
Yeah.
you never know. But yeah, well, I mean, yeah, no, I haven't heard anything about that.
Mate, I've got to tell you, in Australia, you're probably aware, mate, as I'm sure it is in New Zealand too, mate, but cover shows and tribute shows are big business at the moment. The singer in my band, Velvet Kiss, is the Christine McVie in the Fleetwood Mac show, one of the Australian Fleetwood Mac shows. And, she played to like 300 people the other night, and it was like being at Fleetwood Mac. And I imagine it's probably similar for yourself when you're up there. So is it a bit... when you're up on stage and you're doing your thing as a musician, do you sometimes have to sort of remind yourself that you're actually in a tribute show as opposed to in DragonForce?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that other thing I like about this is the shows are quite a lot smaller than like a DragonForce one, so it's like I'm not doing it for fame and fortune or anything, but the cool thing that I like is because my mates are going, "Oh, what do you want to do that for? Like, you can usually play way bigger shows than that." And I'm like, well, the cool thing is like, it's just fun. And also, like, if no one turns up, we're like, oh, that doesn't matter. It just means they don't like System of a Down. It doesn't mean they don't like me.
That's it, spot on. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you do a show with your own band, no one turns up, you feel a bit shit. You're like, oh, okay, we suck. But like, if it's like covers bands, oh well, fair enough. Well,
they don't like them.
Yeah.
That's it.
And yeah. I'm all right.
Have you? So you're obviously playing in Australia. Are you doing any shows in New Zealand as well?
Yeah, we've got 3 coming up starting tomorrow. And so we do those and then come to Australia.
And you've been in Britain as well? You've been doing this over there?
Yeah. Well, I don't normally do it in Britain. I did it like a couple of years ago with them, and then but then like they've got like other people that they have on guitar or bass. I'm playing bass in this at the moment.
Oh wow!
So it's just kind of like a bunch. There's the drummer and the singer is kind of the main ones that are always there. But like the guitar and bass is kind of like there's like a whole load of people that all just have a go whenever they're free, basically.
And you got Richard Shaw from Cradle of Filth, I understand, in the show as well. Is that right?
Yeah, he does it from time to time too. Yeah, so whenever he's free, it just kind of depends. Yeah, so like
You guys are I've got to say, mate, you two in particular, and I'm sure the other members are. This applies to them as well. You guys are ridiculously overqualified to be playing music as simple as System of a Down. So do you sort of look at each other on stage and sort of try to technify it up a little bit? You know what I mean, to make it a bit more interesting?
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, I know what you mean, because it's like so simple. Like it literally took me about 5 minutes to learn each of the songs. I've only got 2 riffs, and on bass makes it even easier. But like that's kind of what I'm enjoying about it, because just like you got to do DragonForce songs, you got to learn remember all these solos, remember all these parts, and all this stuff. It's kind of nice just to kind of I can get a bit drunk and not really give a fuck, and just kind of play, and it's probably you can't really go wrong. And and that's why I'm kind of enjoying about it. No NEA monitors, no bloody wireless packs, and all that's just kind of back to the old days, which I haven't done for years. So, and that's kind of what I am enjoying about it. So I said to Richard, actually, we were like, oh, maybe we should like kind of put our own touch on it. It'd be kind of funny, but like the dude who's the drummer, he's like, oh no, people want to hear it like how it's supposed to be. And so I don't know, like I'm on bass. There's only so much you can do on that anyway. So. I'm not actually a bass player, so I can't really go start doing Billy Sheehan all over it anyway. I'd quite like it if I could, but so we're pretty much doing it how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, fair enough. So it just sounds like it's a lot of fun for you. I mean, you're a great musician, and you've got a great band in DragonForce, and you're just doing this to have some beers and to have some fun with some mates. It sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm not looking to make any money out of it or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just for a laugh. I mean, just coming to New Zealand. Well, my parents live over in New Zealand, so I was like, well, they'll give me a free ticket home, and I'll do it. And so that was my
that's the carrot right there
motivation this time. Yeah.
I've got to ask you. You've got traces of both accents there, but mate, when England played the All Blacks in the Rugby World Cup preliminary final or the major final, there, who are you going for?
Oh, I don't really like rugby at all, to be honest. I went to like a posh school and I got forced to play it, and I was shit, and I basically I was more a music man rather than sports, so I never really got in. Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't even know they were playing in the final or whatever it was, actually.
It's so crazy these days, isn't it, with rugby?
Yeah.
I mean, England are coached by an Aussie in Eddie Jones. I'm a big rugby fan, you see, so I tend to get right into these things, but it's really become the international game these days, So... So, mate, I'll just ask.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. But, mate, are you cool if I ask a few questions about DragonForce?
Yeah. Go for it.
Cool. So I noticed Frederick obviously is I think he's joined Creator, if I'm not mistaken. So he's left
Yeah, that's
DragonForce.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's effectively doing his own
Yeah.
thing, and I know Alicia's coming in. Is she coming in as the stand-in, or is she actually going to be appointed?
Well, we're going to sort of try it out, because we don't, you don't really want to say get someone in the band until you kind of got to know them and that. So we're going to try her out for like a couple of tours and see if we get on shit. See if the fans like her. If everyone goes, oh fuck, what are they going to go for? Like, you go, well, maybe not. But no, I don't know. So far, everyone's been kind of positive. But yeah, we're kind of getting her in to see how it goes, basically. Like, and then decide after that. Probably, we had our producer filling in on bass for a couple of tours already, and he was really cool. Like that,
Cool.
That went well. So we're just going to kind of, we'll try it out with her and see what it's like, and take it from there. But yeah, we won't really know yet.
Yeah, fair enough. I've got to ask, look, I've done a bit of reading about it, and I couldn't see that there was anything between yourself, you guys, and Frederick, but did he just, and probably more a question for him, but just since I'm having a chat to you, I thought I'd ask you, mate, is there a reason why he left the band?
Yeah, I think he just didn't really. I think he wasn't really feeling it anymore. He was never like the biggest fan of the style of music in the first place, which is kind of funny because he was in Heavenly as well. So he basically spent most of his life in power metal bands when he's not even into power metal that much. Yep. So I think he just kind of had enough, and then he didn't really like our new artwork and the whole new theme of like being cartoons and that. I think. We didn't really talk about it, but you just got to tell you can't tell he wasn't really that into it anymore. And then I think the Creator thing kind of came up sort of just by chance at the same time. Like I think they asked him to fill in for some gigs, and then he was like, "Oh, if you want to do it permanently, you can." So he was kind of like, it sort of all fell into place. If you know what I mean? So like if he hadn't had the Creator thing, I reckon he probably would have stayed. But like it just kind of worked out fine. But it was all good anyway. I mean, you don't want someone there that's like not totally into it. So it kind of worked out fine. We're still mates and all that. So
yeah, I could tell that. Yeah, I could tell that from the tone of the press. The press releases are pretty formal things, but you can always. I'm a journalist, you see, so I can tell by the tone exactly what's going on. Like if you read the Queen's press release about Harry and Meghan leaving, you can tell she's seething, for example, even though the language she's using is very polite.
Oh, I haven't read that. I'll have to read it now. That sounds quite funny.
Check it out, mate. It talks about every effort and all of this sort of stuff. So you'll know what I mean when you read it, if you read between the lines.
Oh, true. I definitely will.
Yeah. Mate, I'm going to go back in time a little bit if that's okay. And look, tell me, if you don't want to talk about this subject, just let me know. That's cool. But look, I really felt for you a couple of years ago. I don't know how long ago it was now. It was 2012 or 2014. But there's a journalist in the United States, of course, who had a go at you about some lyrics that were written in a previous band. And I actually thought it was a hit piece when I read it. And I thought it was to not give you a heads up that she was going to ask questions about your deep past, which has got nothing to do with the here and now or the there and then as it was. But I think you know what I'm referring to. This is an extreme left-wing journalist.
Yeah, I remember that. It was really stupid. It was like, and the stupid thing was like we were kind of mates with her. Like we years and years ago. Like we kind of knew her a little bit. Like we did an interview. And she started asking all this crap, and it was like, well, it's fine. I don't mind if anyone can ask me about anything really, but I could just sort of felt like she was trying to basically throw us under the whatever you call it, you know what I mean?
Oh, she was.
She did throw you under the bus. Like, yeah, exactly. And it was like, well, it was really. I just thought that was really just a bit kind of disappointing, really. Yeah, because we kind of thought she was like quite a bit of a mate or something, and then like. But whatever. I mean, I just sort of answered it, and I was like, well, and it was kind of stupid. She was going, oh, well, you sing about this and that, and like that's really bad. I was like, well. I know for a fact that you listen to like bands that talk about killing Christians and stuff, which obviously isn't serious either. Like, so why don't you, go annoy them about that and say, well, I don't think killing Christians is a particularly nice thing to do either. But apparently that's all right to listen to that. So whatever. And in the end, after it all that happened, no one even cared anyway. So
no,
kind of good.
I didn't think so, and I was really proud of the metal cohort for not giving a shit because she's a notorious shit poster. in that a lot of the articles, and certainly that I've been reading for the last 5 years of her, I did a bit of a dive just before we had our chat, and mate, some of the stuff she's coming up with goes from the sublime to the ridiculous. But she clearly has an agenda, and it was a hit piece. She had drawn up a list of questions before talking to you without giving you any heads up that she was going to be alluding to these matters, and then made the whole article about that when you probably thought you were talking to her about something else. And it's certainly not a crusade.
No, I was supposed to talk about our album. I was like, well, whatever. But yeah, anyway, I mean, I did, in the end, it was nice that people didn't actually react how, like, she was probably hoping they would, and kind of say, fucking DragonForce now.
Cancel DragonForce.
The whole thing was like us kids having a laugh. We were only like 18 when we just did all that shit. Anyway, we thought it was funny.
Anyway. Yeah. Oh, look, it's just the state of journalism, and from about 2013, 14 onwards, I'm literally at university right now. I'm in my 40s, but I'm reframing and I'm getting a new career after working in telco for so long. But one of the things that I've spoken to the lecturers about is I can't stand all this journalism as activism. Just obtain the facts from the interview subject or through the story and present it to the people in an impartial sense and let them make their mind up, like journalism typically had always been. But it's just this journalism as activism bullshit where people are the person who's asking the questions is judge, jury and executioner, and it's like, there you go, it's there can be no doubt here that DragonForce is a racist band or some bullshit like that. And it's like, how did you draw? I mean, your present has nothing to do with your past, because they're two completely separate bands. And to your point, it doesn't even matter that your kids or what have you. It's we all grow and we all say things that we've regretted. Jesus, I too went to a private school in Sydney, actually, and I mean, it was racist city central. But they're not my views now. They're not views I held back then. They're not my views now. I mean, you can't deep dive into 1991 and then bring it to now, and then, or 1999, and then bring it to now and say, well, that's representative of who you are still. You can't do that. But I felt that's what that hit piece is all about, and I was just really happy that the metal cohort, to your point and the other point that I raised earlier, didn't buy into it and didn't give it any oxygen.
Yeah, man. Don't know what happened then.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, just cut out. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, mate. I'll just a couple more questions. Is that okay? You've probably got other things to do, but yeah. Just. Mate, the future for DragonForce is looking pretty bright, though, I'd say, at this point in time. I mean, the fact that you've probably got the pick of any bass player that you want to put in the band, and certainly the demand for shows. I know the last couple of times you've come down here, the shows have gone really well, as of album sales and streams and that sort of thing. So would you say that the band is growing from strength to strength? It has now been stronger than ever?
Yeah, no, it does seem to be really good at the moment. I was quite surprised. We had like a really big point in like around 2006 or 7 when we sort of just, all bands kind of have their ups and then you go down a bit, and it feels like we're kind of going back it seems like, all the ticket sales and the album sales are definitely better on this one than they were on the last two, so something's changing, which is cool. And I think it's a funny old business though, isn't it? Things kind of go up and down and you can't always say why even, right now it seems great.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and look, you seem to manage all of the challenges. I mean, you've had changes in singers, guitarist, bass, well, not guitarist, but bass player, mate. What's been your biggest challenge that you think you've managed to overcome in the time in the band?
I don't know, really. I haven't really thought about anything too challenging. I guess just kind of carry on and see what happens. I always don't really think about anything too much. When we first started, we never expected to make a living out of it or get anywhere anyway. We just kind of did it because we like playing the kind of music. So even now, it's like everything that we kind of do, just you just got to carry on, do your best, and see what happens. Really. So there hasn't been anything. I mean, I find it quite hard to come up with new music every 3 years or whatever it is, because that's kind of I don't want to change the style, but I don't want to. I mean, it's always more difficult to write songs when the more you've already done, because you've used up all your best ideas. It's harder to find a new one. So I mean, that's probably for me the hardest bit, because I have to write. I do most of the writing, so that's kind of difficult. But you get there in the end. You just got to get down and get on with it.
Yeah. I definitely notice. when I go to gigs, I'm starting to go to gigs a lot more. It's really weird. I've just sort of got into a mood where I'm going out a lot more, but I still see a few DragonForce t-shirts around, definitely more than Judas Priest. I'll let you know that now. And I've always sort of put you guys in a similar basket.
Oh, there you go.
The painkiller thing and all the rest of it. So mate, yeah, I mean, look, obviously what you're doing is working, mate, and you're connecting with a broad global audience.
Yeah. No, it seems to work. So, I mean, as long as people still like it and as long as we can carry on doing it, don't have to get a day job, I can't complain.
Indeed, mate. All right, mate. Well, it's been awesome to chat. I'll let you get back to it, and good luck with everything in these shows and with your career in general.
Nice one, man. Cool. Thanks for the call.
No worries, brother. Okay, all the best again. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Yeah.
All right, catch you later.
Gotcha. Bye. You've been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series that syndicates for the A-List Online, and my name is Andrew Mackay-Smith. That interview subject was Sammy Totman from DragonForce, and now Chop Suey. Thanks for listening.